Ah, yes, football. Not football, but football. America's game. There's truly no sporting event, or maybe even event, period, that gains more attention in the United States than football. Football is to the U.S. what football is to the rest of the world. As much as this country loves all sports, there's truly nothing like football. Even every wife out there will watch football. You can't say that about any other sport. Okay. So we all love football. There's no doubt about that. But where did it all begin? To whom do we owe the credit? Why such a funny shaped ball? Why is football so popular? What are some of the fun facts about this beloved game? Let's take a closer look. According to Mary Bellis at About.com, football was derived from rugby in 1879 by a man named Walter Camp, who was a coach at Yale University in the late 1800s and the early 1900s. I guess Walter was just sick of kicking the ball and handing it off, and he wanted to throw it forward. Interesting concept. Here are the rules that Camp installed to evolve football from rugby. One side retained undisputed possession of the ball until that side gives up the ball as a result of its own violations. The line of scrimmage. Only 11 players on a team instead of 15. He created the quarterback, which is now the most famous position in football, and he also created the center position. He created the forward pass, which we'll get back to. He standardized the scoring system and made it numerical. He created the safety, interference, penalties, and the neutral zone. Tackling as low as the knee was permitted as of 1888. A touchdown increased in value to 6 points, and finally field goals went to 3 points in 1912. So let's focus for a moment on the forward pass and look at the history of the football itself. Thank you. This football that I have in my hand is a replica of the modern-sized football used in the NFL. According to Dan Peterson at lifeslittlemysteries.com, this football is 11 to 11.5 inches long across the axis, with a circumference around the middle of 28 to 28.5 inches, and then on the outsides it's 20 3/4 to 21 1/4 inches. And this football weighs 14 to 15 ounces. Now this is smaller than the original ball so that it can be thrown forward instead of just laterally. The original ball was just fat and had no pronounced edges. So in order to make the forward pass, they made the edges more pronounced. Another interesting note is that the white lines that you see on an NCAA football or a high school football were made for visibility in night games. The NCAA ball has half lines on the ends, and the high school ball has lines that go all the way around. Now what about this shape? Well, I don't call it the old pigskin for nothing. This is a prolate spheroid, which means that A, B are smaller than C. That's the definition of a prolate spheroid. Now the pigskin part comes because this original ball was made from inflated pig bladder. I wonder how many people think of that. Later on, they were covered in leather skins and then stitched together with the laces. The laces are still used today, but this is not a pig bladder. That's thanks to a man named Charles Goodyear, who figured out that rubber could be used to create the same model. Charles was a very well-esteemed man among the pig community. Now the pig bladders and even the Rubbermaid footballs in the early days were difficult to inflate. Therefore, you had all kinds of shapes and sizes. Not like a standard size like you see today where every football is the same. As time went on, the ends of the ball, like I said earlier, were more and more pronounced to better facilitate the forward pass. I think that the forward pass links us to one of the reasons why football is so much more popular than rugby. Although running the ball is an important part of football, it's the forward pass that makes it entertaining. The forward pass opens the door for a lot more action and therefore entices people to watch. Football today would be nothing without the forward pass. Football dominates the sporting business in the U.S. to the point where even in a terrible economy, the NFL is still a booming industry. You start to look at the facts, you'll find out that it's still making plenty of money. Contact, wide open scoring, and a do-or-die structure puts the NFL at the top of sports in America. And I think that you will get very little argument from anybody on that. So there you have it. A little history on our beloved game of football. It's funny how a humble pig bladder could spawn one of the highest revenue-filled empires in America. So what about all of you? Are you ready for some football?